everybody, it is CandyFan346, and in this video I will be telling a story time. Now, I love to tell story times, and I haven't had a lot of crazy experiences, but the crazy experiences that I have, I'd like to share to you. So, I'm calling this Story Time I Broke My Arm Part 1 because I broke my arm twice. So this is the story of the first time I broke my arm. So let's get straight into the video. So when this all happened, I don't really know what month or day, or I know it was 2014 or 15, and it was in the summer. So we went to go get ice cream and we came back, but I made this box, and it was just a shoebox, and I put glitter on it, and then I kind of painted waves with white and blue. And I made a beach box out of a shoebox, and I cut out the inside, and I was really proud of it, so I wanted to show my dad, because he hadn't been home that day to show him. Till this day, I still haven't shown him the box, so that's kind of sad. But I had a loft bed at the time. If you saw my room tour, you know my loft bed. And I was getting off of my loft bed to get the box because it was on the other side of my desk. And I was kneeling, and I put both hands on the poles to help you up the ladder. And instead of turning around to get down, I wanted to jump off, so I was gonna push my feet forward and jump. But instead, my hand slipped and I fell face first to the ground, and I put my right hand out because to support you or whatever, to help break the fall. And my wrist bent back really far, and it turned somehow. It was really weird. And the pain was so intense. I was screaming and crying. It hurt so bad, and it's really weird because and I was just on the floor, and I was just holding my wrist so close to me. I was just I'm not going to demonstrate because I was screaming so loud. And my mom was coming too, but my dad was running so fast that my mom just stopped. She's like, okay. And my dad was like, what happened? And I'm like, I hurt my wrist or whatever. I think I broke it. And I sat in, and I went to go sit in my mom's chair, and they gave me an ice pack and all that. And it was so swollen. It looked like just a bowling ball, just around my wrist. And I was crying so hard, and my poor little brother Josh was crying too because he didn't know what was going on, and he was crying for me because he knew that I got hurt. I think it was my mom that was my mom. She was we should go to the hospital. She might have broken her wrist. And my dad was no, it's fine. It's probably just a sprain or whatever. And I was still screaming in pain. And my mom was no, we should go to the hospital. So we got in the car, and my dad sat in the back with me, and my mom drove us. We got to the hospital, and we were sitting in the lobby, and on the TV was the news, which no kid really wants to watch because the news is scary and boring. And so in my head, I was just I really want the remote to change it to something that I want to watch. I'm holding my wrist while I'm doing this because I can just And my dad had to get up really early, and it was midnight maybe at this point in time, and my dad was asleep. And our neighbor actually works at the hospital. Her name is Kim. And she offered to drive my dad home because he was tired, and he's no, it's okay. And my dad kept saying, let's just go home, it's probably a sprain and all that. I think I got to watch TV that I wanted to, but I don't really remember. And he looked at my wrist, and he kind of touched it, but it didn't hurt because he wasn't touching it very hard. And he's okay, can you explain to me where it hurts? And I told him, I think it was either on this side or this side, these two parts of my wrist. And he's like, okay, blah, 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 blah. We'll take an x-ray of you. They took an x-ray. And by now it was like 2 o'clock in the morning. The x-ray's back. And he's like, so there's a fracture here and blah, blah, blah. So it wasn't a like complete bone break, but it was a fracture. And, so that sucked. But he's like, there's a fracture here, blah, 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 blah. And I didn't really know what a fracture meant because I assumed broken bone had to do with the word broken, but a fracture still like means a broken bone. And I'm like, so does that mean I actually broke my bone? He's like, well, no, you fractured it. I'm like, so do I get a cast or what? He's like, yeah, we're gonna put you in a splint right now, which is like what they put you in before you get a cast. And I was just like, okay, so, because I wanted to get a cast as soon as possible because the splint was huge. But a splint is where like, there's like these cotton things and they're wet and they put them on you and they harden. So like it molds. And then they put like an ace bandage around it and it was massive. Like they packed up. And it was huge, and it was like all the way up to here, and I could barely like move my fingers or anything. It was very heavy, and my family and I were just like, we were all so glad that we didn't leave, because otherwise, I mean, it still would have healed, but it might not have healed correctly or whatever. But we were glad we didn't leave because it was broken or fractured. And yeah, so I had to take a lot of ibuprofen, a lot of pain medicine, because it hurt so bad. And I think like 1 or 2 days later, I got a cast on, and it was pink, because pink is amazing, as you can tell. Yeah, so I got the cast on, and surprisingly, casts are a lot more comfortable and lightweight than splints, I promise you. So don't dread getting a cast or anything, because it's better than a splint. And yeah, so I had that on for 6 weeks, and that really sucked because it was like really close to school, and I wanted to get like my swimming in, and I was gonna be almost done with summer, and I couldn't. So when I bathed, I put a plastic bag around it, and then I put some rubber bands, and my mom had to help me take showers and like wash my hair and all that. And yeah, it wasn't very fun because when I slept, I had to have like my arm like elevated on a pillow. So and like when I moved it, it was like just so uncomfortable. But it was uncomfortable to have there too, so it was not fun for 6 weeks. And so when we went to go get the cast off, we went to the doctor, and this girl that had no idea what she was doing. So they cut your cast with a razor, but it's like spins so fast it like doesn't even hurt you. It doesn't hurt your skin at all, but it is scary. And a girl that did not know what she was doing my cast, and she was going so slow that like the heat of how fast it was going was just like burning me. It hurt so bad, and I was like, and my mom was still like, yeah, how about no, can we get someone else to do this? Because she was like scared to cut my cast. And then another girl came in, and she was just like, zoop, zoop, done. And it was awesome. And yeah. So then I got my cast off, and it was amazing. And a week after I got my cast off, my brother Nick broke his arm skateboarding. So that was a lot of medical bills in that summer. And then school started, and then my friend Caden broke his arm. And yeah, there was a lot of broken arms that year. So that is this video for today. I hope you enjoyed this story time, and I will make my other broken arm story time, and you'll see that. I don't know when, but you'll get it. I hope you all enjoyed and have a beautiful, magical, wonderful day. Bye! So this is my box. It has the sparkles and then it has the like waves. It's kind of like dusty and it has stuff on it right now, but it looked a lot cooler when I first did it. And I still haven't shown my dad that, so yeah.